Hey guys, this is Vanity Ezel, back at another Card Fight Vanguard Ezel in the Vanity Weekly Review. So if you guys enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't to Patreon. And let's get one started. Today, we have a good amount of reveals. We have some news on the future of Vanguard, and accordingly, once more I'm recording this early, there's supposed to be a strategy meeting or not a strategy meeting, but like a strategy of presentation for Bushi on Tuesday, the day this comes up. So when all that happens, I'll put it on the Ezel Vanity. But so far, we're just going to go over what we have, and which happens to be part of the sad news. But let's get the reviews out the way first. First up, we have C's Breeze Abductor. 8k base, 5k show, grade 1 with boost. Auto rear, when it attack, it boost hits a Vanguard. Bind an order from your drop zone. Choose an order from your drop zone and add it to hand. So basically, you bind an order, get an order from drop. It adds on hit pressure. Okay. It can recycle orders, and in some cases that can definitely be a problem where if you don't have orders in hand, it can get you orders, and there are cards that can put orders back into drop. My only thing about this is it doesn't have a lot of, it's just an 8k, and all the other Zorga cards, at least the ones I run in my deck, they all have a theme of getting power, making their numbers hit a lot bigger. So I'm not so sure if I would run him solely because he doesn't get, he doesn't add the bigger numbers, he just means I can alchemy magic more. And I can see him in certain situations not being useful. If I run him, I'm not saying you shouldn't run him because he actually is really good, because he actually fixes one of my problems of most of the time I only ever see 1 or 2 orders in my hand, and then the other ones just end up in drop. I always have the problem where I either have too many orders in drop, but none of them will end up going into my hand, or all of them will go into my hand, but I never get any in drop by some miracle. That's the ones I discard for ride deck. So Abductor, I'd give it like a 2 over 3 if you really want to run it, because it's really good. It gets on hit pressure. It adds orders to hand, and it can just bind stuff, making it easier for you to use like Death and Binding Black Magic and Sleeve Pulling Beauty, who I still run. Next up, we have Sylvan Horned Beast lyukka. 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Act rear, retire this unit, choose one of your rear guards, gets plus 10 for the turn. So this is, I guess, a questionable version of Ezel. If you don't remember what that is, that's the set 1 card that had a similar look. Actually, wait, now that I think about it, this is just Ezel, because Ezel, they look the same, they both have 1 horn differences, like this doesn't have as much fur as Ezel does, but Ezel is just retire itself, choose 2 units, and they get plus 5. So now you either choose 2 units who get plus 5, or 1 unit and it gets plus 10, and they have the same base power, the same grade too. So I don't know about this one, because it makes one attack stronger, but Ezel, especially in combination with the new Magnolia, makes all your attacks better. I'm not so sure which one of them is inherently better. In my opinion, Ezel is better over this thing. Not by much, but it can get more units, even though it loses less power in terms of units. So, in my opinion, if you want to run them both, do 2-2. I don't run either, because the deck doesn't need it, in my opinion. But if you want to run it, 3 of. But I prefer Ezel over this. I gave them shit for not doing it. I literally said in set 3, while PBD did get 1 support card, they got something, and then they got some really good cards in set 4. Overlord got entirely skipped in set 3, and I talked shit about them not getting stuff in set 4. They are getting something in set 4 as proof of this. Lava Wire Dragon. I mean, technically it's not an Overlord specific support card, but we all know what its ability is going to do, that it most likely is an Overlord support card. 8k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept, so less power already, so not something I consider running. Continuous farm or rear guard circle. When any of your units would attack, the attacking unit may choose an opponent's unit in the back in the same column as the attack target. So basically, you can kill a back row unit. And because Overlord makes so that you can't block block from hand, anything that this thing swings into will most likely just die. So, and you can also just use it with your rear guards and then swing into them. And the thing about this is, I'm actually going to run this, but only because the grade, I think it was grade 2 order, is the same thing as this, except it doesn't have shield or power. If you don't know what I'm talking about Flame Dragon Bombardment, where I'm pretty sure it's play it, there's no cost to it. Choose your Vanguard, and for this turn, all of your units get, when they would attack, they can attack something in the same column. This basically does the same thing, except it has power, it has a grade, it has shield. Literally the only reason I'm running this is because it's the grade 2, it's the unit form of the order. That's the only reason why I'm running this. If it wasn't for that, then I probably wouldn't run this. 2 over 3 of. Plus it has to be in the front row for it. Next up, we have Winds of the Apocalypse. I would argue this is not an Overlord card, but then when we have something called Winds of the Apocalypse, followed by Overlord in the art, followed by the wording is specified as Dragonic Overlord. I'm pretty sure it is an Overlord support card. Blitz Order, grade 3. If your Vanguard is Dragonic Overlord, choose one of your units, it gets plus 20 for the battle. So they still shafted Overlord in my... Like, that's the thing. They made PBD so much better, because PBD has an order that, yeah, only gives you plus 15. But then if you kill a rear guard, it gets another 15. So 30 to 20. But then at the same time, I believe the Blitz order specifies you have to pick a blaster. This just means you have to have an Overlord on Van, and anyone gets the 20. So they have their drawbacks, they have their powers. Definitely is an interesting order. It is better than it's debatably better than the 15k Blitz order, depending on what situation you're in. I'll give this a 2 over 3 of. Next up, we have Sylvan Horned Beast Remrea. This broken thing is... it's front rear guard restricted. I mean, that's still good. This broken thing doesn't deserve to exist, especially as a comment. Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna... Magno is about to get a really good upgrade. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 5k base. Auto from a rear. When your other rear guard attacks, this unit gets plus 5 for the turn. Then by counterblasting 1, it gets an additional plus 5 for the turn. So if a rear guard swings... when your other rear guard swings, counterblast 1 gets plus 10. So it's a 15k off of 1 swing. So with Magnolia Elder, 4 other swings, that's plus 20. No, it's not. That's plus 40. On a grade 1. Followed by Elder skill. So this is 50. This is a 50k grade 1 right here. I know they just upgraded Mag. And they got Panthero. I'm not saying I hate this because I really love this. I mean, I'm not saying... Okay, set 1... I mean, trial deck-wise, Mag was not my favorite, but it was definitely not my least favorite because that belonged to Aurora Battle Princess, and I still stand by that statement. Set 1, Mag slightly moved up, Battle Princess stayed firmly in the back. Set 2, everyone moved up a row. Set 3, Mag kind of fell back because I didn't really like Grambig, and I still don't like him, but I run him in my Mag deck currently, except I'm going to take him out for Panthro the second I actually edit my deck. And now in set 4, they have Elder... They have Panthero, who if it had a Vanguard skill, it would be so much better. And then we have this. I don't know what's better. This thing is genuinely like one of my favorite cards in terms of art, one of my favorite cards in terms of ability, and definitely something I'm going to pick up the second set 4 drops 4 of, straight up. This thing's really good. Especially because I actually playtested Mag with I think I did with Panthero. I don't remember if Panthero was in the deck or not, but I tested everything, at least with Elder. And the deck worked out so well, there was literally no counterblast problem whatsoever. I had so much spare counterblast. This thing's going to eat up all that counterblast, but going to swing for big-ass numbers. Next up, we have Recurrence Magic Lalalita, AK base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto rear at the end of the battle of your draft check ability trigger unit. If your Vanguard attacks Orb Sorceress, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, choose another of your rear guard, stand it, and retire this unit. So, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, stand a rear guard if you pull the trigger and this thing dies. Hexa Orb's skill is literally the same cost as this Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 over here. And so is the order, if I remember correctly. So why are we getting more cards that do this? Followed by, as much as I like this stand, Lepisto is all around better because it also gets 5 out of it. And Counterblasting 2, I mean the Counterblast is never really the problem in this deck, it's the Soul Blast. So... I think you're just better off running Lepisto unless you really want that AK booster. But in my opinion, Lepisto's better. If you want this, run it at 3 of. Then we have Stepmya, 7k base, 5k show, grade 1 with boost. Auto back row rear at the end of the battle, your drive trick revealed a trigger unit. Soul Blast 1, stand it, move it to a back row rear guard without a unit. So, yeah, obviously these are meant to be used in tandem combos together if you manage to get the soul for it. But also, you can use some Bastion and PBD because, you know, Soul Blast 1, move it, and both those, I mean, one of them can restand stuff, the other one can't. Here's the thing about Stepmya, though. It is... okay, I can't see me using this because in Bastion, we all know it's either all grade 3 or no grade 3 for me, and in PBD, there's no real space for it in my PBD deck, especially because, like, I don't want to Soul Blast blasters, and most of my soul ends up being blasters, and I already have too many soul blasters, so, oh my god, the amount of things I just said with blaster and soul. Stepmya is not on my list, but if you want to run him, because he is really good in combos, run these two together and try to find a way to like get a lot of soul real quickly. I mean, because the critical triggers do help, but they don't really help that quickly. 3 of if you choose to run it. And next up for our few little things before we fast forward into Monday/Tuesday is we have information on set 3 in the trial deck being pushed back again in English with the same thing of supply and demand. A lot of things cannot get on time. I mean, cannot get into the shops on time. The product cannot get into the shops on time because of issues. As much as I understand that, and I know it's an issue, I am upset at this. I don't blame them for this. I blame no one for this. I want to let that be clear. I'm not angry at anyone. I just am so upset of this because I really want to test play. I really want Greedon now. I didn't like it at the start. I mean, I didn't like it a lot at the start. I still liked it more than Flagberg. But then I really loved Greedon, and I want to pick up Greedon, and it keeps getting delayed. And same with the trial deck. I really want Basvagrar. I found Basvagrar really interesting. I didn't think I would like her. Please, for the love of God, stop delaying it so I can get Basvagrar. Because now it's coming out December 22, literally 3 days before Christmas. Are you kidding me? Why? I just want this deck. Give it to me, please. That's all I want. And then we have the set 3, which I'm only going to pick up like Expeda at 2 of, thankfully, so it won't break my wallet as long as Expeda isn't expensive as all hell. Greedon, and yeah, so please don't push it back again. I'm mad at no one here, but I really don't want to wait another month or week or so to get things that I've been waiting for a few months now. And then finally for Sunday, or up to Sunday reveals, is not really a reveal, but more or less a note from Keita Mori. I believe he is the new not current, but he was new when Overdress started. I want to say it was CEO. I might be completely wrong on that, but like something of Bushiroad. He's the guy who made Overdress. And we'll talk about this in a second. So first up, here's the note. Thank you very much for your continuous support to Vanguard. As I am leaving Bushiroad, I would like my sincere appreciation for you, your aunt, that, okay, it just cuts off there. Thank you. Also, I'm going to attend the upcoming Happy Yoke on 7th of December, so that's coming up on Tuesday. So, if you know what that is, go do that. Go meet the guy, tell him hi for me, and tell him thank you for what he did. So on to the thing about the thing that he did with Overdress. First off, this is not the first time he's done this. I'm not ragging on him, by the way. That is not what I'm getting to. I'm describing some things about him because I have done a bit of research. Basically what he does is he does thing. He goes to a company, he works on the project there, and then he leaves, and then he just keeps doing it, which is good because like he gives his project does what it needs to. It brings people in, and then he goes works on another project. The man is a great person. Genuinely, he has such good ideas. I really hope that he has good luck in the future with his endeavors, and I'm really glad that he came to Vanguard for it because it definitely pushed out stuff in Vanguard. Now, I don't like the anime of Vanguard. I'm not holding that to anyone. That's just my personal taste. I like some of the things they do. I don't like a lot of the things they do. I'm not holding that to anyone on that because that's just my personal opinion. But that's not the important part about this. The important part is what he did for the game. He introduced overtriggers. That is a debatable statement if it's good or not, because I live on the spectrum where I like both. I like the both. The overtriggers are really good. They make it clear that the game still has the luck factor, but also the overtriggers aren't just like some random BS. I mean, okay, some of them are, but less favorite. But they have, like, they're not just flash effects. Like, they add intrigue to the game, and they're really cool, and it was a really nice addition. The ride deck, which fixes G-assisting. At the start, I didn't like that solely because, like, it took the fun out of it. Like, I know G-assisting, as much as I hated it, I found it really exhilarating, but it's still a thing in V, Premium, and then Premium, so I don't really mind that it's out of standard because the ride deck allows you to, you know, play the decks and not just get, like, stopped from grade 1, 2, and 3, because I cannot tell you how many times I play V and Premium and just all that stuff, and I never get my grade 1, 2, and 3. Even if I run them at 4 and everything else is run at less than 4, some way, somehow, I still don't draw them. Unless, like, I'm playing really lucky. But, that's his own thing. And then, what was the other one I was going to say? There was another important thing. Heal Guardians, which he introduced. We all know I'm not a fan of Heal Guardians, but they did do something for everyone. In certain decks, they definitely did their job. Dimension Police definitely got, like, a greater benefit out of it because they are grade 3s, and you could abuse it by giving them more shield, more power, yada yada yada. Dimension Police and Heal Guardians have a whole thing over there. All around, Keita Mori did a lot for the game. He definitely brought in a lot more people. If he had a say in the anime, I want to say he did a really good job in it. Because even though I didn't like it, he definitely brought in a lot of people with the anime and brought in a lot of card fighters, which was a really good thing. If that was the original plan, then that was great, and he did what he needed to do. And as we know, set 4, obviously he worked on that. So whatever set 4 is, and most likely set 5, and maybe even set 6, those are the sets that we know are Keita Mori's last set. Guaranteedly set 4 and set 5. Set 6, I mean, set 4 guaranteed, but set 5 and set 6, those are the ones where we don't know where the new creator might take it over. During the strategy meeting on Tuesday, they might actually tell us who the new CEO will be. Hopefully they kind of take it in Keita Mori's section and then keep advancing on it, because what he did was really good. At first, they were not welcome changes by a lot of people of the community, and then people got used to it, and then the game actually accelerated in terms of things. So hopefully they continue with that. And yeah, so let's go ahead and go on to our next review when it's Tuesday. Sorry if you won't be able to hear my voice, as this is being recorded at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and it's also raining outside, but I will also fuck with the audio to make sure that this works. So, to continue, we have Gravidia Luluiku, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto rear, when this unit hack hits, search for up to 1 meteor from your deck or drop zone, put it to your order zone, and if you looked at your deck, you shuffle it. So, it's really nice because, you know, the main problem with meteors is that while you do have a shuffler to get them back, Nordlinger is the only way that you can get them out of deck. So it's really nice that we have an on-hit who can still get a decent amount of power that can get your meteors back from drop zone as well, and from deck. And you can place them during the battle phase. I mean, you can get an on-battle play. Actually, no, on-battle phase slow charge if you think your next card isn't a trigger. So, Gravidia Luluiku is really good. I gave it a 3 of. Next up, we have Gravidia Mondieu, 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Continuous guard circle, this unit gets plus 5k shield for every 3 meteors in your drop zone. So this is basically the grade 1 version of the grade 2. So it still works. It's a really nice 10k, because automatically, no matter what, it's going to be a 10k shield, considering, you know, the 3 meteorites sent to drop, since you need at least 2 falling hell hazard and 1 meteor. The problem with this is, though, the meteors have to be in drop. It's not like everything else where it can be a combination of order zone and drop zone. But I think this is still really good. If you want the extra defensive, I don't think the deck needs it. But if you want to run it, 2 or 3 of. Next up, we have the thing I'm excited for, but I cannot scream as it is early ass in the morning. Chakrabarthi True Dragon Maha Nirvana. Straight up, this is, like, if you asked me yesterday when I first saw it, I would have told you I hated this, because minus the first skill being the plus 10k, I didn't think that they needed the second effect, because the second effect is honestly worse than the original Nirvana, and a lot of people think that. But to all those people who think it's worse, while it is technically worse, it genuinely does help out the deck. I want to let that be clear. Like, I'm not telling you to run this. If you don't want to run it, don't run it. But it does help out the deck in a weird way. So let's get over the main stuff first. Grade 4 triple drive, 13k base, continuous and that beautiful ass art. Continuous Vanguard during your turn. If you have a unit in the overdrive state, all of your former units get plus 10. So automatically that's really good, because the original was on swing, counterblast 1, this unit and your units in the overdrive state or with overdrive get plus 10. This now makes it so that this gets plus 10, your overdrive unit gets plus 10, and your other former rear guard, whether it has overdrive or not, gets plus 10 if you have someone in the overdrive state, which is honestly really good, because that means you can even just, if they ever make a grade 1 with overdress, they can just call it to the back row, and boom, everyone in the front row gets plus 10. All around, that ability is already really good, because that's just a constant persona ride. And if it wasn't during your turn, this would be extremely broken. But thankfully it is just during your turn. And, you know, the constant persona ride is really helpful. It definitely makes up for not having the persona ride icon and not being able to do it in the first place. And then the ability that everyone seems to hate, Act Vanguard once per turn. Counterblast 1, put a hand card with Nirvana and its card name from your hand or soul into drop zone to choose a grade 0 card from your drop zone. Call it to rear, choose an opponent's Vanguard, deal, if they're at 4 less damage, deal them a damage. So first off, it doesn't nullify triggers, which a lot of people don't like. I think it's fine that it doesn't nullify triggers, because I think that would make Nirvana a bit too good. Because in all honesty, in all the testing that I've been doing, or just in general with Nirvana, my main problem before was there wasn't enough space, which is why I kicked Persona Rides in the first place, which is why I didn't really want to run this in the first place, because I needed it to be a grade 3, and it wasn't, but it's fine. And the fact that the deck used up too much Counterblast. This only using the Counterblast as its secondary skill, and not the plus 10 to front row skill, has actually saved me so much Counterblast. And even then, I still use the skill, and somehow this deck has just not have a counterblast problem so far. So, I mean, granted, I only have like I just shoved in the new Nirvana into my old deck, but somehow that has fixed every problem. And getting Trickstar back is really easy because you guaranteed to at least have one Nirvana in Soul. So, that's really good. And you get to deal damage all around. Like, I've only had to go to grade 4 once. Every game so far, I've had one Nirvana turn. One regular Nirvana turn, one grade 4 Nirvana turn, and that's the turn I end it, solely because the deck can push out enough power, enough crits, and can deal the one effect damage that puts them to 5 that makes it impossible for them to survive. Literally, my main problem before with Nirvana is I would get so close to victory, but I would be just short because they were at 4 damage if I didn't pull 2 crits. This deck, no. They go to 5 immediately. Maha Nirvana, beautiful ass grade 4. I know a lot of people don't like to run it. I know a lot of people have their own opinions on it. If you don't want to run it, don't run it. If you want to run it, that is my take on it. I personally run 2 copies of the original just in case I need them, and 3 copies of this thing because you don't need 4, but you do need to see it. So, you don't need to see it, but also this thing is fucking cool as hell. And to the person that I saw before that says you cannot use this in a dedicated arena deck, depending on what dedicated arena deck is, I have proved you wrong. Next up, we have Sylvan Horned Beast Rinalva, 10k base, 5k show, grade 2 with intercept, continues Vanguard or Rearguard, all rear other units in the same column as it get boost. You see, this would have been useful back in, all the way back in, when Magnolia was a thing. Not Magnolia, back before Elder. If you gave this to us before Elder, I would say this would be really cool. Obviously you can use this in Flagbreaker and Zorga, but still. But also the interesting point. This is a Vanguard skill. I'm sorry, Bushy. Were you just trying to pass off this, and no offense to it whatsoever, because I do not need this. It might actually be a good card in other people's decks, but in my opinion, it's not that good. This shitty-ass card as a Ride Line replacement? Yeah, sure. I'm not going to run this. If you want to run this, you can put it in at 2. I'm going to go question Bushy of why they tried to replace the Ride Line with this. I said I want a Ride Line replacements, and I do, and everyone else does too. We don't want a shitty-ass, all your other units in the same column as it get boost on a Vanguard. I guess it allows for an extra rush before? I don't know. Next up, we have Ghost Fill, a normal order, grade 2. Choose up to 2 grade 2 or higher normal units from your drop zone, put them at the top of your deck in any order, and put this card to soul. So first up, they stole this from Lyrical Monasterio. Something tells me, this is just meant to be a Lyrical Monasterio card. I don't know, maybe because they put 2 normal units from the drop zone at the top of your deck that are grade 2 or higher. The 2 normal units you want to call for Felt Roser are both grade 2 or higher. The other funny thing about this is I don't think Zorga needed this. It helps with not decking out, I guess. I guess you can combo this with Death Inviting Black Magic, where you bind Black Magic, play this first, play this from hand, bind Black Magic, send 2 to top, and then pay the counterblast for Black Magic if you have to, and then draw 2, and then boom, you get the 2 cards. It also just says choose up to, so you can effectively just shove this to soul for just free, because you don't even have to Alchemy Magic it, you can just play it, shove it to soul. So yeah, I guess, especially because Zorga does have a soul problem, so if you can't hit Hendrina really quickly, and there are games where you will not hit Hendrina, so yeah, I could definitely see this. I'll give Ghost Fill a 2 of, because it does seem actually useful. Next up, we just have some small news on Bruce, Bastion, and Seraph Snow. Now, for the record, you can snap pics of these names if you really wanted to. You do not have to. Actually, wait, no. Yeah, I'm going to try snapping some of these names on camera right about now. Let me just make sure. I'm literally going on Google Translate because I cannot translate that normally. Just going to randomly do this. Their names translate to... Let me just scan them. Diablos Zeta Bruce, I assume. If Google translates remotely right, that's Diablos Zeta Zeus, Bruce, and... Bastion Prime, which is actually really interesting, and Aurora, Richuhime, Celis, Pure Light. That is probably really wrong, but those are around the names that they're going to be. I kind of can't wait for Bruce if it's literally going to be called Zeta, because I don't know why I like the word letter Z. But now we have confirmation that they're grade 4s with triple drive. A lot of people were questioning if they would be or not. Here's proof so people can shut the hell up about it. And our last 2 cards for today, we have Gather Upon Me, You Wandering Souls, grade 2 normal order. It is our double rare for Zorga, which I am disappointed by, but sure. Play this by discarding an order from your hand. Choose one of your Vanguards. It gets a draw for the turn. I didn't want this. I wanted, well, first off, I'm telling you right now, our triple rare, in my opinion, isn't that good. I do not plan on running the triple rare. If the triple rare had the ability to do Alchemagic with Blitz orders, then we'd be talking. But it doesn't, so automatically it's out of my books. But with this thing, you just get a drive. I'm sorry, were they just trying to recreate the magic with Nectar of Serenism? Because my problem with Zorga is that I deck out too quickly. Give me 3 grade 3 turns, I'll probably deck myself out. Even before that, honestly. Between 2 and 3 grade 3 turns, triple drive's not going to help. And it's never guarding power with Zorga, unless it's a rush attack. If it is a rush deck, then I will need guarding power. But otherwise, I don't see me using this. If you need this, run it at 2. If you don't need this, don't run it. I really like the art, but I hate the skill. And next up we have Roaming Prison Dragon. 5k base, grade 3 twin drive Persona Ride. This knockoff Gargoyle is a auto drop zone. When you play an normal order, you may call this card to rear. If you called it, perform one of the following. If you're an Alchemagic, perform all of it instead. Gets plus 10, gets a crit. So, if you play Alchemagic and you call this, is a 15 double crit. Now, I guess this could be good in the early game where you just set up your board by playing Cursed, Souls, Wriggle, and Agony, followed by any other order, and then you get to call this, and then Cursed, Soul, Wriggle, and Agony will call you another 2. So, automatically that's that's 5 rear guards out on the board at once, and, 3 rear guards, and if you play, Regurgitation from the Underworld, where you may be paying 1 Counterblast and 3 Soul Blast, you are effectively getting 5 units out onto the board. So, Roaming Prison Dragon can be helpful in the early game. I guess in the late game too, where you could pump power to it. But my issue here, and this is for my build, and I might change some things around so I could run it, is that I don't want to drop shield already. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. My luck with orders is the worst in this deck. All of them either end up in drop zone way too quickly, all of them stay in deck way too much, all of them either just clutter the hand and it's really hard to get rid of them because I don't draw PGs those games, or none of them just show up and then they show up towards the end game and then I can't do anything with that. It happened on camera once, which was very fucking annoying. Roaming Prison Dragon, for me, I genuinely do think it's an okay card. I guess I'm just upset that it doesn't have the ability to Alchemagic with Blitz orders or Alchemagic during the opponent's turn, because that's something I was really looking forward to and hoping for. I know Bushy never said they would do it, but let's all be honest, if we were all hoping something along these lines would happen at some point. So, I will give Roaming Prison Dragon a 2/3 of. I might run him, I might not, just simply because of my luck with the deck. So, we'll see what happens. This, though, I will probably not run, because it will probably come back to bite me in the ass. And that was it for this week's reveals. We did get a few more reveals of just, product releases where we now have confirmation that Shaman King gets a set 2, and I think Various is on the 4 of 22. We also have more information on Crate Epic, and we also have news that there's an English and Japanese producer of Bushiroad now, so that's really good that they're going to collaborate on things. We have a Bushiroad World Grand Prix, which I'm not so sure the details on. Probably should have paid attention during that, but I cannot speak Japanese, so automatically we're in the red there. And there's one more reveal. What was it? I'm trying to remember. It's somewhat important, but I don't remember if it was. I don't remember now. So whatever it was, hopefully it wasn't that important. So. Oh yeah, that Bushiroad is going to try to make English and Japanese simultaneous releases now, maybe? We don't know, considering they're making a thing called Record of Ragnarok as I believe it's not English exclusive, but it's from a manga and it's going to be a simultaneous release between Japan and English, so maybe they're going to start doing simultaneous releases now. That's all I have for today. So I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoy. What do you think about the new Nirvana? In my opinion, it's honestly really good. Once you test play it, hey, maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I know I didn't like it before test playing. After test playing, I find it fucking amazing. And what do you think about the new double rare and triple rare for Zorga? In my opinion, they're okay. Not exactly what I was thinking, but I was overhyped about it. So who knows? So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your vanguards.